Hello, love. Thank you so much for spending your time with me today. I have a lot of new faces around here, so I'm just going to take a moment to introduce myself. My name is Sarah, and on this channel, I share with you multiple different income streams that I have and what I'm learning along the way. This video, though, is focusing specifically on Mercari, which is a platform to sell clothes and different goods. The very first thing that sold for me on Mercari in the month of March was a Lululemon top. It had kind of a tie at the center. It was almost cropped because of that specific tie. This sold for $20. The buyer did pay for shipping. This came in a ThredUp rescue box, which I did 200 pounds, so that was 4 boxes. This was one of the pieces that came in that ThredUp rescue box. I believe one of the reasons why I ended up in the rescue box is because there was no size tag. I know sometimes Lululemon can be tricky in finding the size tag. Sometimes they can be hidden. I verified for sure there was no size tag on this, so I took measurements. It did seem to be about a medium. The buyer seemed to be happy and pleased with it. So there were no issues there. That's the one thing with getting ThredUp rescue boxes is a lot of times things have no sizes on them, even though they're good brands or good styles, because ThredUp will not sell something that does not have a size. So that is kind of the benefit is you get stuff like this, but then also the downfall, because it's possible that I could have gotten this size wrong and the buyer could have been upset by it. But in this case, it did work out. This STS blue distressed denim jacket came from some free inventory that I sourced through the Nextdoor app. If you are new, I just want to let you know that I connected with somebody over on Nextdoor that typically donates their clothes to Goodwill, but they knew that a lot of their items were being picked up by resellers anyways. So as I got to talk to this person through another listing, they said, I have a bunch of clothes, come on, pick through it. I was thinking that it was gonna be like 1 or 2 pieces, but instead it was like, I don't know, probably 500 pieces at this point because I've gone back to this person multiple times. Anyways, this piece came from one of those times that I went to go see them. It sold for $12. The buyer did pay for shipping. It was completely free inventory, so all of the profit came directly to me. This TFNC London dress, it had beautiful sequins on it or beading. It was perfect probably for like a New Year's or a wedding celebration. It came from a ThredUp rescue box. By the way, I don't think I said I estimate my cost of goods to be about $2 for those rescue boxes. Sometimes it's kind of hard to tell because there are a lot of damaged things that you just literally, I just have to donate, can't really do much with, or the cost is so low that the sale price is so low that it's kind of hard to count it in my box. On my last video specifically on Poshmark that you should go ahead and go check out, you'll know that I actually made a sale that was 38 cents. So I lost money on that particular sale. In this case, I made a little bit of money. This buyer did pay for shipping. So of course, taking out that cost of goods, I still made out. This Loft blue striped, it was a square neck dress, came from that free inventory that I sourced through the Nextdoor app. The buyer did pay shipping and it did end up selling for $11. Of course, all of that was profit to me. I was kind of upset that this sold because I wanted to keep this for myself. I always put inventory up first, even though it didn't sell for very much. If you didn't know, my main income source is I'm an assistant principal at kind of an underserviced community. So I was hoping that I would be able to wear this dress to work, but it sold instead. By the way, it is Assistant Principals Week this week. I know some of you are educators, some teachers. I do know a couple of assistant principals as well. So whether you are an assistant principal or you're a teacher in education in general, thank the assistant principals out there. We truly do appreciate that. I honestly didn't even know that it was Assistant Principals Week until a teacher reached out to me, because my focus has been on Teacher Appreciation Week, which is coming up the first week of May. I've been planning everything for my school. I didn't even know that there was an assistant principal's week. So I appreciate everything that I have received. I actually have flowers back here that I got from some of my guidance counselors as that recognition, and it really honestly made my day. So if you know a teacher even the first week of May, definitely reach out to them. This year has been a rough year that we all are trying to just get through together and move on. Anyway, this apartment 9 black and white dress came from a ThredUp rescue box. The buyer did pay $9. They did have free shipping, so I pretty much broke even on this dress, if that. It's something that I was just okay with getting out of my inventory. I am a person who, because I do source these different ways, such as liquidation or ThredUp, if I have it, I list it, and if it sells kind of thing. I do source specifically in other aspects, but when it comes to this, I just list what I get. These Michael Kors white cozy, they're almost like a towel material shorts. These sold for $15. The buyer did pay for shipping. These came from the free inventory that I sourced through Nextdoor. These actually sold one time before on eBay, but they did get returned just because the buyer, they didn't fit the buyer. The buyer did buy multiple pieces and they only returned this one piece. They were very honest. They just didn't fit. There was nothing wrong with them at all. So of course, I put them back up for sale and they sold here on Mercari. This Loft navy and white striped dress came from free inventory. Of course, if it's Loft, Tommy Hilfiger, or Next, it's pretty much always guaranteed to be that free inventory if I ever forget to say. This sold for $5. It was actually a local sale, which this is only my second time doing a local sale, and it was actually pretty cool. I just set the dress out on the porch. Somebody from Uber, I think it's Lyft actually, came and picked it up, delivered it to the person's house. No issues whatsoever. The person was able to wear it to work the next day. They were happy. I was happy. I took the money because it was free inventory. It all worked out. This Loft gray cardigan had like sequins on it. It was a longer cardigan. This came from free inventory, Loft, of course. It sold for $11. The buyer did pay for shipping, of course, because it was free inventory. All of that profit came directly to me. This Vince Camuto necklace had like a flower detail or a flower pendant attached to it. It sold for $6 to the buyer. The buyer did pay for shipping. This actually came from a Quick Lots general merchandise half pallet. I will say I know that they don't have any available right now, but I will put a picture here and a link in the description just in case you want to check back if you're watching this video a little bit later to see if they do have it available. This honestly was one of the things that sold for way cheaper, but there were some pretty high-priced things in that palette. I wouldn't discount that palette in any way. This is just one of the things that was still laying around because I did get the palette quite a while ago. I want to say in June or July, so this is still something that was just hanging around. I was okay for letting it go for this price because I wasn't going to wear it. I typically don't wear necklaces for whatever reason because I fidget a lot and I play with the necklaces all day long, and it just ends up being more of a distraction to the students specifically more than anything. This rabbit black fur coat actually came from Cozy Threads. Now I decided to get a Cozy Threads box on their pre-launch. So this was like the very first day that they opened up and I wanted to try out the company. This particular coat was pretty damaged, but other coats that I got from them were actually in pretty good condition and they are selling for a little bit of a higher price point. This did have a cost of goods of it was $28 a piece, and obviously for selling for $39, It didn't really make profit at all, but it was pretty damaged, so I was kind of okay with breaking even because I was afraid I was just going to have to completely throw it out because it was damaged. The buyer did pay shipping, so that helped me out a little bit. I did check to see, I do have a referral link for Cozy Threads if you're interested in trying out, but for whatever reason, their referral program is crashed right now. I think because they're a new company, so I will leave my information in the description if you want to try out the company, but just be mindful that the code might not work right now unless you're watching the video, of course, in future time, and then it might be figured out by then. This next order, Loft, free inventory, of course. It was a skirt. It sold for a whopping $4. The buyer did, of course, pay for shipping. It was free inventory. I basically gave it away for free. If you're seeing a trend here on Mercari, my sales do not go for very high. I think it's kind of my last ditch effort when I cross list over to Mercari to try to get things like literally out of my house. And that's that. I don't promise or I don't hope for high dollar sales on Mercari. I feel like on Mercari, it's more of like a garage sale kind of feel than anything, and that's definitely how I approach it. At least that's how I source for myself, is as if I was going to a garage sale and kind of in that mindset. This Loft neon green / yellow, sometimes it's hard to say, but it was definitely a neon color mini skirt, came from free inventory. Of course, it was Loft. It sold for $14. I did not charge the buyer shipping, so the buyer had free shipping attached to it. Again, just getting things out with Mercari here. I did recently sign up for Flyp's free cross-listing service, which I never had a cross-listing service before, and it has forced me to cross-list my higher priced items over, because for whatever reason, because I'm in this like garage sale mindset, I always list things for way less over on Mercari. I am kind of curious to see if now that I'm cross-listing at the same price as I have things on Poshmark, if my sales are actually going to go up and I'm going to sell for a higher price, or if things are just going to sit on Mercari because my prices are too high. So it's kind of an experiment that I'm playing with myself because I have this cross-listing available to me. I do have an affiliate link for the Flyp cross-listing service. It is, of course, completely free, but if you're thinking of signing up anyways, I super appreciate you using my affiliate link. I get a very, very small kickback from it, but it lets them know that I was the one to send you over. Anyways, the next sale was a Tomboy X black shorts. These sold for $8. The buyer did pay for shipping on this item. This came from a ThredUp rescue box. So of course, like I was saying, I would give this approximately a $2 cost of goods. I would say it was a little bit less than that, to be honest, but I always err on the side of caution. I would say $2 is the good estimate. This next blue linen dress, of course, next free inventory without a doubt. This sold for $14 with free shipping to the buyer. More and more I'm realizing I definitely sell things for way less on Mercari, so I'm hoping this little experiment that I have with Flyp is gonna work out in my favor, and I will see that I've been selling things for a little bit too cheap over there, but we will see. I will definitely keep you updated on that. This universal thread gray t-shirt came from a ThredUp rescue box. It sold for $7 with free shipping to the buyer. Basically gave it away for the same cost of goods that I paid for it. This Under Armour long sleeve hooded shirt came from a ThredUp rescue box. The thing with this is it did not have a size tag attached to it, so of course I did have to take measurements and estimate what the size was. It sold for $12. The buyer did pay for shipping, so I did get a little bit more profit back on this one compared to some of the other ones, but still not the highest. This is a good way to just, get some things out of your closet, I suppose. And that was the very last thing that I sold in the month of March, specifically to Mercari. Now, I do track my sales on different platforms. I previously put out a video of my sales on Poshmark specifically to March, and then my next video will be focused on eBay in March and my sales over there. Again, Mercari is just I just need to get rid of things kind of platform, for me at least. If it is something different for you, I would love to hear about it. If there's anything that I need to change in my pricing, in my titles, my description, maybe I just haven't figured out Mercari yet and you guys have all the answers. You never know. That's one thing that I really like about YouTube, is it's a two-way conversation. And my focus here is learning and growing together. So I'm sharing everything that I know and all the experiments that I am going through. If you have any information for me, I would love to hear it so then I could share it with other people. Of course, give you credit for it. If you have not subscribed at this point, but you're watching my videos, I see you. I know what's happening. I appreciate it if you do go ahead and hit that subscribe button so we can learn and grow together.